All right, now we're live. Minute after start time, but we are live now. Apparently, interesting.
Waiting,
Yeah,
waiting for Slick Jimmy Speaks. Hang on a minute.
yeah. Well,
Sorry.
it says
Yeah,
I'm
it's still
live. It
showing it.
says it says I'm live.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so hopefully that's correct. You know, whatever.
We are live.
Yeah, we
Yep.
live now. Yep, there we go. Yep, I'm watching myself on my phone, so we are live. All right, everybody. Finally. One of these days, I'll figure this out and get my shit together properly for a good start, as opposed to whatever the type of clusterfuck I just did right there. So, yeah. Look who we have on our panel tonight. We have wonderful artists. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might be joined by a seventh. We shall see. Let's go down the line. Starting out first would be Armoron. He's got a pretty face right there. It looks like Tifa. And we got Dreaded Dinosaur, Eric Hodson.
Yeah.
Humble Marty. Always our favorite shot of estrogen and vibrant color on the panel. And then we have our resident silent monk, illustrator monk, who he's a silent threat. He's like a submarine. You never know when he's going to strike. And then there's Josh Spencer from Down Under, just like Armoron. Two Aussies on the panel. And finally, we have Zachary Bradley. He's a new person to our fun little get-togethers here. One of my favorite artists I've seen in a while. Not to say I don't like everybody else on the panel, but he's got a painterly style that really I dig. It reminds me of heavy metal and my friend of Whiskey Paint. So yeah, I dig Zach. And he's doing a little cartoon caricature right now. So, Armoron, anything you want to say?
Not really.
All right, we'll keep it short and
Yeah,
sweet.
just doing the same old, same old. Just
Yeah.
working on some commissions and doing my content for my Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I have my DeviantArt. I use the same name for pretty much all that. So
That's
if
cool.
anyone wants to find that, can go there.
All right.
So yeah,
he does good stuff. He won a couple weeks ago. Then came in hard and fast and did a beautiful piece of work. We got a dreaded dinosaur, Eric Hodson. What you got? Anything you want to tell people about?
Yes, working hard on Roddy Piper comic. It's almost done. Can't wait to start working on my webtoon, Dreaded Dinosaur Man. You can go to Webtoon and check that out. Just type it in the search box and read the first couple of chapters. And I'll be adding some new chapters soon.
Right on, right on, right on. Humble Marty, are you working on anything currently, or do you have anything you want to pimp, sell, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm actually just working on this short little gag strip right here.
Oh, fun. There you go. That's what she's doing when she's not doing the Cheesecake Challenge. She has a fun little kind of cartoony style, and she's always getting better and learning her and sharpening her skills. And I'm really, really excited to have her here as usual. Illustrator Monk, what's going on, man?
Saving the World #2 is going to start campaigning May 1st. I don't know if they're going to let me do a cover, but Sashi did the cover for this next issue.
They should let you do a cover, not
May
a variant, because you do kick-ass work. I'm going to have to pay you here soon for that Jack Irons piece you did. If you want to do some color on it, give me a price. We'll talk turkey. You know what I mean?
All right.
You had to think about that one. Josh Spencer, what are you doing?
What are we doing now?
Well, no. What do you have to tell people about that you're involved in?
Just doing some commissions. Yeah.
He's
not really working on any comics or anything.
He's usually up for commissions, and he does really cool cartoony style, lots of sexiness. Lots of fun with Josh Spencer's stuff. Oh, look who we have on the panel. It's Danny Vegas. Daniel Vega from the Tech Corner. He just showed up a little bit late, but that's all right. We haven't gotten started just yet. How's it going, Dan?
It's going. My apologies. I was actually finishing dinner.
No, that's
And
fine.
well, when he makes dinner, it's like, okay, here's some food.
Oh, cool. All right, man. Anything you want to tell people? You do commissions as well.
I do commissions. I do safe for work and not safe for work stuff. Color work. Line art is 30 per 30 to start and 15 for every character thereafter. Color characters are 45 to start and 20 for every additional character.
Ah, that's nice. And he has an affinity for buxom elven maidens. Or
Yeah,
not so
pretty much.
maidens.
But that's not going to work here for this.
Yeah, not tonight. No elves tonight.
No elven noir.
No,
Damn.
no elven noir unless you can.
That would be totally awesome. But
I
don't
think if you did the elven vibe, I mean the noir vibe, ears on it wouldn't matter so much, but I would keep them from being straight out the side of her head and more sleek and pulled back. That would be more to the noir style. More looking like
Right.
Vulcan than like, something that might not fit through doors. And finally, our new man on the panel, Zach, would you like to tell people about what's going on? Now look what he says on there. Goma live on Indiegogo. This is true. He has a book called The World of Golma, and it's a kind of like a D&D fantasy adventure, beautifully rendered. I have actually backed this book, and I recommend it. Anything else you want to tell people about?
No, that's you. You did all my advertising for me. I'm all good.
It is absolutely beautiful. It's only a couple grand. It should be far more than that, considering how it looks. And I think that you're telling. I can see the story coming out of the art that I've seen. So I think you know what you're doing narrative-wise. I personally think it's a shame you don't have more money. I really do.
It's okay, dude.
I know.
Because it's going to go out to a lot of people and by word of mouth. I'm hoping.
I'm
that
hoping
people-
too.
What's it called? What was it called again?
World of Golma. Golma.
Yeah. Right now we just shortened it down to just Golma on the Kickstarter, not to get it confused with the other campaign.
Yeah, it is a real. I mean, I things I like Jack Irons. I really try to pimp, and I've been pimping yours for a while now. I tell people about it. I
Yeah.
wish more people would. You had a low set goal, so you did fund, but I personally think more people need to fund. They need to go to your in-demand store and they need to slap the money down and buy this book. All right.
What's it about? D&D?
It's
D&D
a
stuff?
fantasy world.
D&D.
Yeah, it's D&D. Oi. Okay. We're almost at 10
Oi.
past the hour. At 9:09, I think we can start now. Oh, we had another person. We got to talk to him. Who we got here?
He's also doing a strobe light
Uncle
effect.
Bill has showed up on the panel. 1, 2, 3,
How's
4,
it going?
5,
Why
6,
am I
7,
can't?
8.
Oh, I gotta change.
You're
it.
Dude, what's up with the
flashing.
strobe? You got a strobe in your room?
He has a dance. He's doing the DJ, man.
Yes.
He's DJing right now.
All right. This is William Blankenship. Bad Ankle Bill is on the panel. It's nice to have him here.
That's better,
Anything you
that's
want to
better.
pimp, Bill, before we get started? We're at 10 after.
No, not really. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I've been thinking about what I want to do with this most of the day because I love noir.
Cool. Excellent. All right, let's
Oh,
get started. We're going to go till 10, maybe 15 after the hour of 11 o'clock my time. So that gives you about 2 hours and 5 minutes. If people get to the end and we aren't quite finished up, I may give it a little bit more time. But because I love noir, it's one of my favorite genres of all. We are started right now, by the way. And it's something I have a rather large library of noir movies and neo-noir and books. And if you look at like my influences for Little Girl Lethal, it's definitely influenced by the noir that I've read and watched and seen in books. Sin City is totally a noir vibe, and that's a major influence. Things like Blade Runner is also noir, like future noir. There's things like the Dresden Files, which are also like, urban fantasy noir.
Oh, I love Dresden Files.
Yeah, the Dresden Files are amazing. The books are just fantastic. I think Dynamite did a volume of one of his
Wasn't that
stories.
a TV show? Just
Yeah, they
recent?
did a TV
Yeah,
show.
I found the
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah,
the
it
t-
only lasted one season,
No,
unfortunately.
and one of the reasons they did it, they didn't do it to model. I mean, I know it's kind. Jim Butcher, who I've actually interacted with, he's a really cool dude. He lives back in Missouri, in the Independence in Missouri. He said to consider it like just another version of the Dresden Files because it doesn't follow most of the stuff that's written out in the books. Harry Dresden's like 6'6". He's this huge dude, tall, like lanky dude. He wears this long coat and it's like a leather coat, and he drives around like this ramshackled, multicolored beetle. None of that shit was in the movie. I mean, in a TV show. The guy drove like a Jeep, and he was like, I think he had a trench coat on that was kind of khaki looking, and he definitely wasn't 6'6". But the show, for the people who love this stuff, they thought it was okay, but they didn't get into a lot of there's so much. He's done like 20 books now, I believe. Are we at 20 now? Can't remember. But there's a major narrative. Whoop, we lost somebody. Must have been Bad Ankle Bill will be back. But yeah, this is one of those genres that I absolutely find fascinating. It has a mystique. It has an atmospherics to the movies especially, and a lot of times the reason why the movies are the way they are, for those who don't know, they were done on the cheap back in the day. They were like on the second reels. They were like B movies, a lot of them, and so because they didn't have a lot of money, the directors had to make choices with how they lit them, and so often they were just trying to hide a bunch of stuff because they didn't have the ability to fill out sets and stuff. So they'd hide it in light and shadow, and they do these really hard contrasts, and it set up kind of a a motif that now is known as noir. Most of them are shot in black and white. With a few movies were done noir style, like say North by Northwest, which is definitely noir, but it's in full Technicolor.
I love that movie.
What?
I love that movie.
Oh, I mean, everybody talks about Hitchcock's Oeuvre, and that's my favorite of it. It's my favorite of his films. But it's not to say don't. I mean, he did a lot of great films, but that's my favorite one. I love just the whole story around it. It's just a beautiful masterpiece. They don't make them like that anymore, in my opinion.
No.
And it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Let's go down the panel really quick. This is Armorant. He looks like he's using 3D mapping first. That's all right. And he's getting some contours down. Everybody knows that noir, if you're going to do it in black and white. And so this is one of those ones you can add color. That's fine. But noir has generally got the vibe for black and white, or for deep contrast and rich saturation if you're going to do it in color. That's usually how noir is broached with,
Outdoor neon sign
yeah,
as the lighting source.
yeah. It's very saturated colors and very contrasty. So you have light and you have dark. Think of LA Confidential or something like that. There's a lot of that. It's a very gritty feel to it, but also lots of rich colors. If you're going to go that way, if you're not, you're going to go deep negative spaces with edging, and that's the way you would approach doing it in black and white. Going down Dreaded Dinosaur, he's got I love this perspective, very nice. As we know, if you do want to do a little bit of nudity on here, I'm letting it slide lately. If you do, that's fine. Just keep it classy, as I would say. Classy nudity. Some people would say that's not anything you can do, but I would disagree. If you look at the classical paintings, there are lots of classic nudity. All right. Humble is she's going for the color again. I'm so surprised, but yeah, and she's the character has a very flexible pose.
Yep.
Looking a little ballet there. That's all I'm saying. Got to get her on her toe there.
Okay.
Just
I'll
saying,
do that.
if you're gonna do it, put her on her toes, and give us a reason why she's in a noir genre.
Setting.
Yes. Yeah, setting. There we go. There's the word I'm looking for. And there's Illustrator Monk. Illustrator Monk's laying down the lines as he does, and those once he gets it down, he starts right in with the pen. Are you doing Copics right now, or are you just doing pencil?
Just pencil.
Okay. So got a pen there in your hand. And moving down, Spencer. He's definitely again loving the angling. That does add dramatics if you pick a certain angle for noir. So yeah. And always remember that the shadowing is really important in noir. How you do that. Lots of Terminator lines and faces and bodies. Interesting lighting, as I said, was one of the things they did. A lot of different things. The blinds of a light, lights of blinds across things were notable for noir movies and so forth. A lot of people would consider Casablanca a form of noir, which is it is many things, but there's a lot of that lighting, those elements in Casablanca, and kind of the kind of seedy joint. And I wouldn't say that Rick's was a seedy joint, but no, Casablanca was quite the den of iniquity when in the time period it was set. The Big Sleep. My brain is not working right now. Double Indemnity, things like that. Where was it? Where did I stop? And then we go to Daniel. He's got another that's looking pretty noir there. You're getting kind of a Jessica Rabbit vibe going. Again, like doesn't have to be completely super modest, or well, not doesn't have to be in the ball gown. But you can make noir. So, like I said, Blade Runner, you had a girl run basically in a transparent plastic dress who gets shot down in the middle of the street, and that was noir as well. So, going down to Billy, to Bad Ankle Bill, I don't see much on his page now. It looks pretty sketchy, but
Yeah, it's still pretty light. I'm just kind of knocking in the composition right now.
okay. We'll get back to you. And finally, we got Zach. Ooh, he is definitely getting the patterns of light and shadow in there, doing his painterly style. That's excellent. And yeah, doing a good. See, I got a great panel. This one brought the people out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost a full house tonight. Yeah. We do had somebody else who said they might drop in. He had to get something to eat, but we'll see. Just Some Artist, I believe is his name. And yeah. So how's the week been treating you guys with the woo?
Annoying.
Annoying?
I think I'm yeah, I think I finally reached my
Your limit?
peak point was the stupidity, but
Well, I have to admit that some of the states I've been watching what's going on, and it's been interesting. You can see the different governing styles between governors. Here in my state, there's compliance, and we did have one of those demonstrations in the Capitol where people showed up toting their guns, but nothing happened, and everybody went away, and they didn't arrest anybody. Whereas in other places, they've kind of got up in their grill a little bit more with the police. Here, everything's kind of mellow. I live in a fairly mellow, orderly state of Utah, but these fellas, and especially Armor was telling us about down in Australia, people breaking up a birthday party and fining them like ridiculous amounts of money. And I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. Considering that, I don't think Australia has had hardly that many deaths at all. And
We've actually got no more new cases.
I mean,
they're saying.
that just seems silly. You guys lived basically on a big fucking island. So I mean,
I'm still trying to figure out how we managed to make it all the way to an island where
Because some
practically.
idiots decided to go on a cruise ship.
Oh,
I mean,
fair
but,
enough.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but I mean, there's a
Yeah,
way. I mean,
yeah.
you don't have huge population centers, except for like the big cities, so you just have to watch those. But anywhere else, just people just practice those things: wear a mask, do the distancing, wash your freaking hands, and yeah, there you go. I mean, goodness gracious, you don't have to do Gestapo tactics and break up a 12-year-old's party. That's just
Right.
yeah. But I mean,
It's
I can see in New York. I mean, if you've seen pictures of New York lately, I mean, I've been there like 5 times, and I've never seen New York, other than in like when they lock down streets for like shooting a movie, where there's nothing going on. Like you look down Broadway and there isn't shit.
Well, the only other time I've been to New York once, and that was after the planes hit the two towers, and because I'm trying not to get you demonetized here. Okay, and so there's military presence, and I was with friends, and my friends are idiots, and streets were locked down, this and that, and we somehow got lost in the streets, and which is a bad thing to do when you're out there.
Well, I mean,
but a lot of streets were quiet, and you had a lot of military presence at that time. So I was like,
during my lifetime, I've been to New York 6 times. The first time I said five basically when I was of age and I could move around, or at least I was old enough. The second time was when I was in my teens, and I was going there for a choir tour for my high school. But first time I was like 3, and we were up on like the Empire State Building. And I remember being up there and looking down and thinking that the cars look like ants. But every other time I've been there, it's New York City. But what I've been seeing in live feeds and things, it's a different, like it feels like like Omega Man. There's nobody on the streets. Nothing's overgrown or anything, but it's just dead. And I've been
fighting in the roads.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And I'm sure that a lot of the cities are like that. I haven't seen any feeds from like say London or Paris or anywhere, but I'm sure it's similar. LA, it's a city that they need cars, and they've been showing like the freeways have been pretty clear too. That's odd. And then I saw a feed from San Francisco, and except for like the homeless people, not much going on. It's a strange thing that I've never experienced in my life, at least in my country. And I don't know anywhere else has had it like this. I don't know what it's like in Sydney for you guys, but
There's a kangaroo that went down the street.
Really?
Doesn't that happen every day though for you guys?
He's in Sydney.
Not really.
Well, not in Sydney, but in
there was a kangaroo
area
that was actually hopping down the middle of the street in Sydney.
Did you guys see that thing from, it was like Kuala Lumpur or somewhere, where they hadn't seen this this type of cat? They thought it was extinct, and it was just loping down the middle of the street because there wasn't that much traffic. There was just like a jeepney going by, and they followed this cat, and apparently it had kittens and a whole 9 yards, and they didn't think it was still alive, that particular breed. So apparently it's secreted enough to keep out of the eyes of humans until there wasn't enough humans to bother it.
Give a shit about. Okay, fair enough.
And I'm just like, that's crazy,
Yeah,
and when you see that thing after, they used to have that show a little while ago on Sci-Fi, like After Humans or whatever. I pretty much think that's what would happen. Like, if we were like to up and disappear somehow, yeah, the world wouldn't take very long for the rest of plants and animals just to kind of just come back.
Yeah, I'd probably say it would probably take within a year for we just poof gone. It would probably take the planet about a year to
Well, I don't know about all the foliage. You get some foliage.
Well,
but,
not the foliage, but
but
you're
I think
talking
I think
animals.
animals would just go, hey, look, hey, there's not those asshole
Dude,
humans here anymore. Uh, you know, and then cats would
pretty
be like,
much.
well, where? How come we don't get free food anymore? For those who don't know, like dogs, we domesticated. Cats, on the other hand, one of the reasons they're kind of independent in the way they think, they came around us, and then they saw it was advantageous, kind of a symbiotic relationship, to hang around us, and that's how they quote unquote were domesticated. Whereas dogs were domesticated, we bred them away from wolves, and now they behave in a different manner than wolves. So yeah, totally different ways of domesticating an animal, and that's probably one of the reasons why you
Feed
either
a
like a
dog,
cat or
they
you don't.
think.
What was that?
Feed a dog, they think you're a god. Oh, it was just some old saying. Feed a dog, they think you're a god. Feed a cat, they think they're a god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's roughly correct.
I don't know. It depends on your cats. I mean, like my cats are pretty cool because I don't brook any crap, but they also do get a little pushy after a while. Like you always hear me say, "Get off me, cat," because they come jump
Waiting
on
for
me.
it. We're waiting for it right
Yeah,
now.
they're not in here.
Yeah, we're aware that you say it.
All right, shut up, you.
We're
All right,
good.
let's go down the paddle again.
We could practically make a bet on it.
Get off me, cat.
Drinking game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on
Drinking
a
game.
mug when I finally get my store up. I'm working on a Shopify store right now, and it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. Moving down to Armoron. Ooh, pretty girl. Pretty. He's already started on putting the inking in, digitally speaking. Very nice. Like it a lot. A little motion there with that with the one earring, and some very lovely hair. Gonna go move on down the panel. Got Eric Hodson, and this looks like a gun mole with a gangster vibe. So yeah, I can feel that. And yeah, I'm sure she looks like she's feeling something too. And moving down to Humble Marty. I think we're getting a crotch shot. That's what
Sorry.
it was. I'm not sure what she's going with this, but it definitely looks like a dancer doing a kick. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Then we got Illustrator Monk. And what we got here? What's she leaning against? The bar? Yeah, it looks like she's got a cup of whiskey or bourbon or scotch, something right there. She's smoking a cigarette, and she's putting out the vibe, if you know what I mean. That looks good. I like it. And moving down to Mr. Spencer. That's very nice. Yeah. She's already done the dastardly deed and raising her glass of champagne. We need a dead body in there somewhere, I would think. But it looks good. Going down to Daniel Tech Vega. Look at that. Very good. I like the little strap on her leg for her gun. Feeling that. Very cool, man. And going down.
Just debating on the gun.
Well,
Like,
you don't want to have a big gun. Generally, the women were carrying a little bit smaller, like a 38 or small, like a 32 automatic, something like that.
I have to look that up then. I don't.
So yeah, that's I'm not saying that the lady couldn't handle a bigger gun, but generally speaking, something you carry
32
on
auto,
yourself.
32 pistol autos.
32 auto pistol would be a nice little gun. If you had anything big like on that strap, it'd probably just pull it right down her leg. Unless it was somehow connected to her garter belt, something like that. Yeah, and then we're going to William Blankenship, Bad Ankle Bill. Got some sketches going on here. We're seeing what's happening. It's going to take place. We've got our nipple hanging out there. We'll see what happens. And
a little bit of nudity.
A little bit of nudity. Well, like I said, I'm okay with it. If you feel it, just keep it classy, you know. And then, ooh, look at this.
No spread eagle pose.
Yeah, no spread eagle. It's a little over the top for the Cheesecake Challenge. I think he's got a girl in a trench coat, and we'll see what he does for the sexiness. Is that a girl? It's like a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's gonna be a girl. I just haven't. I'm blocking everything out right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm just
don't
saying. We are the Cheesecake Challenge. I'm just.
Don't worry. There will be plenty of cheese on that cake.
Okay. Just a little icing, a little frosting.
Cake is a lie.
Some cherries, strawberry, whatever makes you happy. Okay. Yeah. And this is lots of fun. I have to say, somebody brought this up in the Cheesecake chat, which is kind of where we have our artists kind of congregate. And I'm surprised I haven't thought of this before, because it's something I really enjoy. And I just slipped my mind when somebody suggested. I was like, oh yeah, we got to do that. I mean, this is a genre that I just, like I said, I really dig it. She looks like she's in her unmentionables and carrying a gun. There, Illustrator Monk. He's definitely going with the thing. I think I wrote out something in the Cheesecake chat, and he's following that motif pretty closely.
What was it that you said? I can't even remember.
I put nectar of, I remember what it is, of a Nocturne nymphomaniac or whatever it was, and so I was saying, the nectar could be taken in many different ways, but I said basically, she's holding a drink out while she has a gun behind her back, that sort of thing. But I mean, that was just an idea. Like, I'm not saying it had to be that. The noirs, you can find whatever you want in that kind of genre and play around with it. So yeah, very cool, very cool.
You know what you do? Dungeons and Dragons babes next time.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, like, say, pick a race, a sexy race, not something like, ogre or something like that. Or like a dragonborn. If you can make a dragonborn chick hot, well, then so be it. But I mean,
Fuck yes, I can do that.
Tieflings.
You can definitely make a tiefling hot. But like, or ASMR or something like that.
You seem to think I don't know how to do. You seem to think I don't know how to do fantasy characters.
No, I think you do. I'm pretty sure. I know that Mr. Zachary does. I know he knows what he's doing in that realm. But I think y'all probably could tackle it pretty good. So we might think about that. We did Warhammer. Might want to do D&D one of these days. Yeah, I had a tiefling character on Chester Busby's Bugbear's Basement for quite a few weeks. We ran a campaign my character was a tiefling ASMR hybrid. I kind of came up with her. Her name was Laz. Oh, stretching that arm out there. I see that.
Yeah, I feel like her arm was a little too short.
There you go. Digital is fun that way.
Yeah, because when you fuck up, you can fix it.
I'm going to go over and look in the chat, see what's going on, if anybody's in there. We've been talking for a bit.
Racing.
Oh, look, we got a few people. We got 13 people. Holy cow, 13 people. I should have checked before. Very nice.
The record.
Yeah,
It's a new record.
We got Larry. Larry's there. Sci-Fi Snob. Spencer's in there as well. And we got Phil Connect. Where is Phil? Why isn't Phil on the panel? Oh, dang it. All right, well, we got Eric Hawkins.
Kick him now.
And then we have Pablo Romero. He should be on the panel. We have Sporkman Studios. And yeah, let's go down. And Pablo Romero is saying quite a bit. Phil Connect. Okay, let's see. What does Phil say? Oh, sure, Jimmy. Humans vanish and the world goes native until you take into account the number of unattended nuclear reactors that melt down after a month and everything dies. Well, right around the reactors. Reactors usually just melt down. They don't usually have, unless they hit a body of water, they don't explode upwards. But I guess if they went down far enough, got to hit the water table. And that's called the China syndrome. Generally speaking, they don't go off like a nuclear explosion. No, they just irradiate the entire area around it as the stuff seeps into the groundwater, which is not good. Yeah. Let's go up to the top. Well, let's see. Monk is best so far according to Sci-Fi Snob. And then Larry says from Rebel Comics and Niobe Fame says Monk is the man. And then Sci-Fi Snob says, what is that? Polar bear in snowstorm. I think he was talking about Bad Ankle Bill's start out where you couldn't really tell what it was. It was just like a page with some little lines on it. Rebel Comics says, Spencer in May we start your cover if you are still good. Okay. Not sure what that's referring to, but we'll move on.
No, that's referring to me doing a Niobe cover.
Oh, well, I would like to see that. Most definitely.
Yes, he should message me on Facebook and not the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You just said
probably
you're not doing anything comics related, you liar.
Yep. Don't tell eight artists what to draw. Don't tell 8 artists?
be artists.
Don't tell the artists what to draw. Okay. All right, I see. Are you talking me?
I think I know who that is.
I
wrong,
think that
but-
was me telling you guys what needs to be on the. I think I said that there needs to be a dead body on and he's telling don't tell him what to draw. It's a shame I don't have more money. This is it. This is true. It's a shame I don't have more money. Phil Connect says Monk, my nemesis. This is true. He's not your nemesis tonight though, because where are you, Phil? We still have one slot. If you want to jump on, Buckaroo. And then Pablo Romero goes, look what happened to Chernobyl. This is true. Look what happened. And the nature took over. I mean, there's still some messed up stuff, but then even the animals came back, even though it's still kind of irradiated around there. And then Pablo Romero says the cats will be okay. They can hunt. Dogs will suffer. Dogs usually revert to a feral state in packs, and they go around and hunt that way. Actually, feral dogs can be very, very dangerous. Actually, yeah. And so yeah, I think we got. Phil Connect says wind, Jimmy. Wind. What? What about wind? Is the wind messing with
I
your
think they
internet?
meant to say when.
When?
Cuando. When? I guess.
I don't know. Phil Connect says wind, Jimmy. Wind.
I think he's talking about the nuclear reactor, right? If it blows up.
Well, I mean, if it does blow up, I mean that's essentially just like a dirty bomb, but we're not talking like devastating blast that blows out in all directions. Like
make Chernobyl look like
it would just be a meltdown.
Yeah, it would just irradiate everything around it. And there would be some wind fallout, but I mean that will only last for a little while until the fuel is burned out.
Either way, the planet wouldn't care.
Yeah,
in a few hundred years,
everything around it gets really hot, and it just.
We're not here for it, you know.
Yeah, we're not here. And 50,000 years. Yeah, that's geologically, that's nothing. When everybody says, "Oh, we're killing the planet," I'm like, "We're not killing shit. This planet's gone through worse things than us. We may not survive.
It'll still be here when we're long gone."
Yeah, this planet still probably has a couple billion years left until the sun expands. I mean, so when people talk about that shit, unless something shifts the planet off of its current orbit, then it'll be just fine. And it's been in the current orbit for a long time. What might change it though is the sun, the moon keeps moving farther and farther away, and that would cause the tilt and what we consider our type of seasonal stuff. It would change, and that would definitely change how the tides work and a whole bunch of other stuff that might affect how life is done right now. I think life would persist because I think we live in that Goldilocks zone, as they call it. So, Yeah. Pablo Romero Art says, I was interested in joining, but I have to letter my comic. We'll believe you, but it's a likely story. I do know that.
Life.
I do
Finds a
know
way.
that lettering is a pain in the ass. I can attest to that, and I'm still working on it with my letterer right now, and we're making progress. We're
How
getting
is that
close.
going, Jimmy?
It's getting there. Um, I would say we got a month, maybe even less than a month, but up to a month and a half or two. But that's if unforeseeable things come up. I think once we get the lettering done, I just compile it and get everything straightened and formatted, and then we send it off to the printer, and I make the PDF. And yeah, should be not too long, and then I will shut down that in-demand store, and we'll start thinking about a new campaign once I start delivering. Yeah. Is Armoron using a 3D model? Cheater. That's what Pablo Romero says. He's calling you out, man.
Yeah, no cheating.
It's used for reference.
Boo.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Well, can I get a photograph and trace over that?
A lot of people from Marvel apparently do that.
I've done it before. Don't worry.
I think that if you put your own stamp on, whatever reference you're using, that's not an untenable thing to do.
I mean,
I often think
I
though
know
that the
quite a bit of people who
fluidity
use
of
reference. I use reference because
I often think though that the fluidity of like your own brain affects it. Now, I often bring up Frazetta, and Frazetta said he never used references when he started his drawings, but he loved to do photography and he'd take pictures, but then once he's got it in his head, he just went with what he had in his head. So is that using references? I don't know. Whereas
I
something
think we've
like,
had this conversation before.
yeah,
Similar, yeah. Like, I think as long as you change it up enough so it looks organic and
yeah,
Yeah, I've inked directly over photos many times just because it's like that's the simplest thing, especially whenever it comes to like guns, things like that. I'm very quick to just grab a photo, put it in there and then just ink right over it because I can draw the thing by itself from, seeing it and doing it by hand, but it just takes longer. Like I can get it to where it's going to look good and it's going to look, it's going to look like the gun that I'm using for reference, but I might as well just throw it in there and ink it and get the job done.
yeah.
especially if it's a complicated gun that has complicated parts and things, and just like and then it becomes a hassle to draw.
yeah, I never want to draw a car like from my head. It would look so wonky.
And so what you're saying is Greg Land is God.
Greg Land? Yeah.
No,
Good old Greg Land.
Greg Land.
Well, Greg Land is known for using his photo references, especially from a certain type of photo.
Yeah, I think it was more the where he got it from rather than what he did. If he just said, "Oh, well, I use this for help with the poses," that
Well, no, I
So
think
you're
it's
saying that
partially
certain
what he
photos are
did.
okay to use, but some are clearly inappropriate.
yeah.
But I think part of it
How
was the
dare you.
fact that it comes across as lifeless in his
Okay,
work.
thank you.
You know what I mean? It's not just the fact that he did like porn photos but his work really came across as lifeless. I think a better artist would have interpreted the same thing and done different, stuff with it.
But to be fair, another artist didn't do what Greg Land did. And he did it while working at Marvel, which is garbage. So I'm very happy about that.
We have Phil Connect in the chat. Not in the chat, in the panel. He is here late, but that makes a full house tonight. I guess Crypto Comics is going to be not be able to get in here. I'll have to tell him so. So yeah.
You doing, Phil?
Well, he has confidence in you, man. That's why he hasn't shown up, because he believes he can do this
Oh,
on your own.
he was busy with doing other things, but I mean, we do have a full house
Yes,
now.
but I was trying to put up your confidence.
And this is nice. It's the the first full house we've had in maybe a year. It's been a while. So fantastic. I need to find themes that people are like, damn, I want to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah, we got this one.
yeah, definitely. You guys have felt the vibe on this one and come out in force. Again,
Yeah,
Phil
that's
Connect.
great. Can we get back to Greg Land?
Okay, go back and start dissing on Greg Land if you feel so
So about
inclined.
Greg Land, it's the main problem that he had was he didn't change anything. Like if you change
Yeah,
stuff enough, people
it
wouldn't.
was kind of
Right.
one for one from the photo. I'm like, dude, you
Yeah.
could at least changed it up, man. It made it so freaking obvious that you stole from somewhere.
Well,
know,
Pablo Romero
and,
has something to say about this. So, says the problem with
Go
a
for it,
lot
man.
of people that trace 3D models is that it's noticeable. It's not in the case of Armoron. So he's giving you props there. Greg Land goes too far. You can really tell the difference between his traced work and his non-trace stuff. The truth is, many professionals trace. It's just faster for a lot of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Oh
knocking
yeah.
it. I'm just giving you.
Oh yeah, it's fine when you rationalize it.
I just use it as a guide, starting guide, and I just work from there.
Yeah, that's mainly what I do. Is that's what I'll use the 3D model for. Is like, okay, I'm having trouble trying to figure out what.
Well, I mean, like,
whatever
I
stupid reason,
really don't have a
and
problem
I need
with
this to that
reference.
awesome. So
I don't like, but 3D often the 3D models do, unless you know how to pose them real properly, get a little fluidity. Because I've seen some absolutely gorgeous 3D work that is amazing. But
you'll be surprised.
but if you don't particularly do it, it does come off as like you're just tracing a fucking mannequin, and and that is not something to aspire to at all, in my opinion. You can use little mockhead things and do poses that way, but if you don't know the anatomy, like say me, it's just gonna come off looking fucking weird, and no matter what methodology you employ, and I just have goddamn dogs.
Well, at least it wasn't the cat.
Yeah, well,
Goddamn cat.
like I better shut the window because I'm making a lot of damn.
And he makes more noise than the cat than the dogs.
I know wasn't that wonderful. My window shutting. Yeah, and this I'm not looking forward to the summer where I'll have to turn off my fan to do this thing. Sit here and like a sweat box. Oy vey.
Oy vey is
Oy
right.
vey, Mashugana.
I'm happy that it's entering into winter here. It's my favorite season.
It is. I'm like, well, I see. I used to be a big skier, and now my knees don't. They kind of preclude me from doing that. But every year I look forward to the winter. I get like a season pass to the local ski resorts, especially Sundance, which is like right up the road from me. It's the one owned by Robert Redford. But you can get like now you can get like a locals pass to all of them. And back in the day, you'd have to pick one. You'd have to pick Sundance, and sometimes they'd have like a one where you could go into like maybe Alta or Snowbird or up to Park City. And then that would cost you, like back in the 80s, like $300, and like so the 80s and 90s I was shelling out that. Now you can get for $300 like a season pass that goes all the way to the damn west, which really annoys the hell out of me now that I can't do that anymore.
We're like that here in the Midwest with Knights Action Park.
Uh-huh.
You can totally get like a season pass for like $90 and then go down the water slide every day.
Jeez.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I never was one of the. I mean, I went to a water. I mean, I grew up in the '80s, so it was of necessity you went to the water park. But mostly, I went for the girls in bikinis more than sliding.
What?
Yeah.
I'd
go seriously. I'd go to the water park, to hit on chicks. You? Me? Yeah.
Wow.
Work on my game.
I thought you were gonna be bachelor for life, Jim.
Not anymore. I'm not doing that. It's really not that hard. I'm going to be honest. For those of you who think it's hard, I'm not the most handsome guy in the world, but it's really not that hard to get some action.
It's your voice.
Well, I mean, even now, I think even with my bald head that I've gained in the last 3 years, it's about confidence, about knowing that you're a man and you know that women like sex, and you know that you don't have to be pushy and do some stupid line or anything. You just talk to them like they're a normal person, and it usually works out. And if it doesn't, oh, there's another people. There's more people.
Listen to him over here sweating my game.
Well, you know. Yeah, why do you need to sweat? You already got yourself a woman, so.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I don't want a whole harem.
Well, neither do I. I'm too old for a harem.
But
Good God, that would be a lot of work.
If
Nobody
you
likes
want a
Twitter.
harem, you don't want one.
I mean, like it's like a fantasy, but like reality is totally different from a fantasy. Just you get in and you're like, what have I got myself into? You know, and if you're like the type of guy that likes juggles a whole bunch of girls, you know,
Yeah.
unless you're one of those ones that likes to tell them, oh yeah, I'm out with so and so, or you know, you can play that whole thing. It's just too much fucking work. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. It's just a lot of work. Women are work. I'm sorry, Marty. Women are work.
That's okay. None taken.
Oh, I like your thing, Marty. It's coming along. Very good.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how noir this is going to come out, but feeling it looks like Chun Li.
It is.
A noir Chun Li.
Oh, damn it! I should have thought of that.
Wiley.
Just make sure it can't be complete. It can't be completely Chinese. Noir is an American phenomenon.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
There's some New York City she was in.
Even though
And the bar
even,
that got wrecked every video game.
even though noir is a French word because they're the ones who coined it, you know. Oh well.
I mean, it's just French for black, right?
Yeah, night, noir, black, yeah. It's all right. It means
Hey.
darkness.
I eat freedom fries.
You
All
can
right.
eat freedom fries still? Still?
I don't mess with that French nonsense.
Phil just came from his. He was late because he was at a tea party get together.
Might as well call him surrender fire.
Actually, we were drinking amaretto stone sours,
Oh, okay. All right.
and they were delicious.
Good. Let's go down the panel one more time. We're gonna look at Armoron. Ooh, very nice with the long cigarette holder. Very much noir.
Yep.
I'm feeling this one. Yeah. That's very good. We need some contrast in there, though. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I'll blacken, put a lot of blacks for shadows. So.
And you could do one little piece of color in like the coal of her cigarette. That would be interesting. I'm just saying, you don't have to do it. Just a suggestion.
Yeah,
Don't
stop
people in
telling
the
the
chat.
artist what to do, man.
People in the
Yeah,
chat,
what the
don't
hell,
get
man?
upset. God dang it!
God.
I'm just trying to help out.
Let the artist create.
Okay.
Just leave it
Jeez.
alone.
All
Oh my
right,
gosh.
fine. We're looking at Chun Li right now. She's doing that high kick. We will see where this goes. If this is the we'll see what happens with that. Moving along to Illustrator Monk. He is setting in the dark shadows. Very nice. A little bit of smoke. Smoke is always good for noir. Adds to the atmospherics. It's just one of those things, one of the tropes. Moving along to Phil. Phil's coming late, so we're still looking at sketchiness. See how far he gets, and yeah, let's move along. We got a pretty girl though for Phil though. Obviously, there's some boobies. See the boobies? There are boobies.
Oops.
And look at that. There's boobies again with Josh Spencer. Then a very low V cut front. Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's working on the curvature of the underboob, and we appreciate that. Moving on down to Daniel Vega. I'm seeing a hand, and yep, and yeah, that's.
I wonder if I got that gun right. So
It'll
I'm hoping I
work.
got
We're fine. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It looks pretty. That looks. That gun looks very modern as opposed to what might have been actually at the time.
Oh,
That's all
Oh,
right.
because I looked up 38, and that's the most of what I've seen.
Yeah, if you're looking at trying for a 40s vibe, then that would not be the proper gun. But Noir does not have to necessarily be set in the 40s, so it's not like a hard fast rule there. So yeah, he's doing a good job. He's getting in the inking, moving down to Bad Ankle Bill. He's working on the face of the young lady, and there's a bad man, the bad man, or you know, the ubiquitous detective that seems to be in many of the stories. Who knows? Who
I
knows
don't,
what's going on?
you know, she might be the actual snake in the grass on this one. I don't know
You
yet.
you
I'm still
never
figuring
know
it
in a
out.
war story if
Woman hater.
if the damsel in distress is holding a stiletto behind her back or on the inside of her thigh or whatever. Yeah, that's how it rolls in the noir world. Yeah, going down to our Zachary Bradley. He's working the lady, and yeah. Is she naked underneath that coat?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh boy, oh boy. She's going to surprise somebody, either with that gun or with the other part. We'll see.
The other parts. Well,
The
hey,
other parts. Yeah. I remember seeing a Hildebrandt brother. One of the Hildebrandt brothers did this. I can't remember the name of it. Basically, had a girl underneath a street grate, kind of like Marilyn Monroe, blowing it up. You could see her garters and her underwear, but she was like holding a little gun. She had just come out of a gun shop or a pawn shop, and it was called. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Uh, uh, Saturday Night 38 Special. I think that's what it was called. And I always it's one of those ones. And he has this. He's had them made into tins. They print them on a tin, and it's like $90 for a big one. I've been wanting to get that for a long time, but I can't justify it when I'm doing other shit. So, but I would be hanging out on my wall.
That's why the God Emperor gave you $1,200.
Yeah, that $1,200 is going to other places. So
I bought a lot of amaretto stone sours.
I haven't gotten the check yet, so I don't know.
What?
No, not yet. I haven't seen it. And I
Is it
should be
because you
getting.
haven't stopped your you haven't quit your what's it called? The store? Maybe you get it when you close the store. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see. I should be getting one for my mom too that I'll have to pay her taxes with and shit. So it's always fun. Damn taxes.
They're voluntary, right?
What? Yeah. No. Well, it's I got to get hers done. I put it off, and I'm past the deadline that would normally be, but I got to get it done.
I thought they extended the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just have to get it done. We passed the deadline it would normally be. I already did my taxes, which were, since I did have that campaign, it was a bit more of a bite than I'm used to. I was like, ugh.
But if you didn't get the money, you shouldn't have claimed it, right?
What didn't get what money?
I thought you said you didn't get the check from Indiegogo.
Oh no! He's talking about the $1,200 stimulus check.
Oh.
Yeah, I got all the stuff from Indiegogo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So look at that. That's looking good there, Joshua. I like it.
Thank you.
It's yeah.
It's
Let's go back to the
noir.
chat and see what's going on with the chat. See what they've said. We got 15 people watching currently. It's very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see how many people. I only see 2 likes. Maybe I have to re-up the thing. It's
Yeah, because I see 11 here.
I see 10. Yeah, if you guys want to say want to like it, that would be nice. All right, where are we at with the chat? Okay, Mike Stewart's out there. Sorry, Mike. Tried to. Oh, yeah, it filled up. Next week though, man. come on next week. That's Mike Stewart. I'd love to have you on. Sorry about that, buddy. I tried to join. The call said full. I'll just watch. You can draw along if you feel like it, and do like the guys from Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition or whatever. If you want to.
Oh yeah, I gotta try and get on that thing.
Yeah, try to. I mean, I think you could get on Chester's show easily. I don't know about I don't know. Is Mike still running his thing?
Mike still does, but Mike is super selective about who he lets on.
Yeah, well, things have gone down. So.
Yeah, no, we kind of did a thing though, and Mike is everybody should probably watch this upcoming D&Q because it might be Mike's last straw on letting the fan edition send people over.
Why? What did you guys do this time?
Oh, there's this wonderful person that recently joined us. His name is JD, and he's a very special person.
Is it the Dill Man?
Huh?
Is it the Dill Man?
Dill Man.
John Delarose?
No. He's just a very special type of person that we know that Mike is going to very much enjoy having on his show.
Oh.
And that's all I can really say about it.
Well,
sounds like sarcasm to me.
Yeah, sarcasm meter is going off the charts right now.
Yeah, it sounds like bait. It sounds like you're asking us to ask you more.
No. I don't want to spoil it.
But it's too late.
Go and watch it. Just go and watch it. Or you can go and watch the previous episode of Drawn and Quartered. You'll know exactly why.
But I don't like watching religious bigots.
No. Not Drawn and Quartered, the fan edition, the fun one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Chester Busby's channel.
Yeah, Chester Busby, not Mike.
Okay, good.
And speaking of another artist, we have Trusty Sidekick in the chat, and he goes, "There's your theme for next week: bikinis and water parks. What do you guys think of that?"
D&D.
We'll have to put a twist on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously bikini, water parks, and D&D.
There you go.
Yeah, D&D bikini water parks.
We need to roll D20 for that splash, sir.
That's right. We'd have to roll for what we come up with some things that we might do and then roll for it before we
I
start.
literally have hundreds of D20s not but a foot away from me.
Yeah, he's a Warhammer D&D dude, Mr.
Roll for initiative.
That's right. Flit Amarant is here finally. Where have you been, Flit? Goodness gracious. What? Treat women like they're people? Insanity. I guess he was talking about me. Yes. Treat them like they're people. And the other thing is, don't kiss women's ass. Do not do that. If you do that, they will not respect you. You don't treat them like utter shit. Like some guys say that you need to treat them like shit. No, you just don't. You just don't kiss their ass constantly. Don't sit there and fawn over them and shit. Don't be like the word is right now, simp. Don't be don't be like that. Don't be these motherfuckers that go to the pay thousands of dollars to an e-thought. That is just absolute insanity. I mean, you might as well go.
Oh, I should stop doing that.
Well, if you're doing that, then you're doing it wrong. I mean, there's chatterbait. If you want some to see girls do stuff for you, I mean, there's chatterbait. There's the cam girls,
Hey, look,
or
send
just go to a strip club if you really, really want that. But let me tell you something: you don't have to do that. You just have to figure it out. It's like a puzzle, and it's like a game. And once you figure out the game, it's not that hard. Gee, Christmas. I watch these guys. I hear about what they do, and like thoughts, e-thoughts. I'm just like, they boggle my mind. That guys are, I just don't get it.
Like guys simper after cam girls?
No, they can't. Like it's not. They're not cam girls. Like cam girls will just do whatever you ask them to if you give them money. E-thought girls, they want you to give them money for sitting there playing games or doing ASMR or some other shit.
On Twitch.
Yeah, on Twitch, and it's just
they'll
they'll spend thousands of dollars, I mean, watch It's a Gundam, and he'll talk about it. It's just freaking crazy. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Anyway, so I got off on a tangent there.
But you can't hate on the women for doing that.
I don't know. When I hear them, like this one I just heard recently, like the coronavirus, you should, if you can,
Oh
if
yeah,
you can,
yeah, yeah.
you know, if you can budget out, you can budget out $10. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. I ain't giving you shit.
Oh, yeah.
I would never.
If-
I wouldn't give you. I wouldn't give you a red cent.
If
You
you're
sitting
asking for
there.
donations is one thing, but saying like you have to or like
Well,
Yeah.
even asking for donations, whether if guys want to do it, that's fine. You can thank them, but like soliciting them for you to sit there on camera, playing a video game or whatever else is they're doing, you know,
No, they just sit there. They barely ever play video games these
yeah,
days.
whatever, you know, sitting there playing with their stuffed animals, getting attacked by their cats or whatever, you know. No, I actually the attacked by cats. I'd probably pay for that.
Wasn't there a girl that sold her bathwater or some shit like that?
Yeah.
No, her cat
Yeah.
did attack her. Like
Yeah.
her cat attacked her. The one she's been mean to, and she ended up biting her and like literally pulling the skin off her. You can see the skin being pulled away from her arm. You know, they didn't. I don't know if it, you know, tore her up, but I mean, it was pretty freaking funny. And I
Yeah, that was Alinity.
yeah, Alinity. That's that.
that's because
fucking
she
bitch.
threw her cat once and it got her back.
You did get her back. The other one that kills me is this Amaranth chick. She looks like she's been.
Oh, I thought that was the same girl.
No, Alinity and Amaranth are different. Amaranth, I see her like just dropping in on Twitch, not Twitch, on Twitter all the time. I don't know. I guess other people I sub to like will like it and it'll just pop up and I'm just like, okay. I mean, she's attractive and all, but she looks like everything's bolted on, even her ass. Anyway, got off on a tangent.
Because it probably is.
Yeah. And we down to 13 people. And then we got Sheldon Martin. Ain't nothing more American than French fries. And then he says, "Law, she's got a gun under that coat." Hey, Lady Celtic Moon, what's up? Nice to have you in here. Eric Hawkins, and he says, "Dang it, Zach, how did you get 20 books out so far this year with how quickly you draw an entire scene?" How did you get 20 books out?
I have 20 books out.
I don't know. That's what he says.
So many questions.
I don't
So
know.
many questions.
I don't know.
I'm
And then Eric
curious
says,
about that too. Let
we
me
are
know.
going to break Mike. Yeah, that might be possible. I think Mike is actually having maybe some financial problems. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't seem to be that good with money, but you know, yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. Sheldon Martin, he likes the real life version of Zach Galifianakis plays in every movie. He's like the real life version that Zach Galifianakis
Zach
plays in every movie.
Galifianakis.
Yep,
Zach
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
Flit says, "Been here since the beginning." You have? Oh man, but I'm stuck working, so only selective chat. Sad face. I'm sorry, man. Stretchy Psychic says, "Me too. Me too." Eric Hawkins, how did he not get 20 books out? I don't know.
Oh.
He's asking you, how did you not get? Oh,
okay.
I
don't know.
That's something.
Because I'm lazy. I'm a lazy ass motherfucker.
I don't know, dude. Every time I see, you've always got more stuff. I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely doing work, but I'm also very lazy. So.
Well, all right.
I'm only meeting like 10% of my potential.
Well, aren't we all? That's what our brain will only allow us to do. Yeah. Or so they say. Well, let's go down to the panel one more time. Where are we sitting at?
How much longer we got left?
About an hour and 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, so this is gonna be first tonight because I've never done grayscale coloring.
Well, that would not be coloring; it would be grayscale.
Yeah, it would also be time to nut up.
That's right.
Handle business.
Nut up or shut up. All right. Looking at Armoron, and yeah, he's got a girl there. She looks like she's laying on a bed, I think. Yes, she's laying on a bed, silky satin sheets or something, and she's got that very form-fitting gown, and she's got a gun and the long cigarette holder with the cigarette, and very noir. Yeah, very noir looking. Go and move down. Got Eric Hodson. This is a gun mall, and she's revealing a lot there with their Tommy gun in hand. Yep. That looks very much very noir as well.
Thank you, sir.
You're hitting your marks, man. And we got Chun Li doing a high kick.
I got the legs in.
I'm still debating on how noir this is, but we'll see. Yeah. By the way, everybody, it's 4:20. I'm not really type to do the doobie, but if you are blazing up, don't get too high. Moving along to Illustrator Monk. He's doing his, as he does, he's doing his markers, his Copics with the inking. I like this. This is very nice in its composition. This is feeling very noir. This is what we mean by the negative space of the shadows. That is as noir as you get. And we're going down to Phil Connect. He's got a young lady in it looks like a demi bra, and the bra's kind of coming off the shelf. He's got her in some lingerie. We shall see how this goes with its atmospherics. But yeah, I'm feeling this young lady, and a little bit of danger always goes with noir, just a little bit. Gotta infuse that in there somewhere. Moving over to Josh Spencer, he's doing Dark Shadows. Very nice. As you can see, Josh knows the feminine form pretty well.
I've had practice.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And yeah.
I mean, if you do something every day for like 20 years, you sort of get good at it.
And when he was a young boy, he drew his first boob, and that was that.
He joined the boob parade. That's why.
That's right. Going over to Daniel Tech Vega, Danny Vegas as we call him. That's kind of a noir name, actually. A lot of people could say that.
That's from Pulp. It sounds like it's from Pulp Fiction.
Or Ocean's 11. That's what it always reminds me of. Danny Vegas, Danny Ocean. But Ocean's 11 could be considered kind of a noir kind of caper idea. Yeah, noir is
the original one was like the Frank Sinatra one.
Yeah, it was definitely noir.
The best one was the one that was all women.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you like that? Do you like that, Phil?
It was the best one because it was the least sexist.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Moving down the line. Then we got some nipples here with Bad Ankle Bill, and she's
Bill,
and she's is that a lighter she's holding? What are we looking at?
Yeah. Sorry, I had it muted. I just got her holding a drink and a cigarette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just.
Does anyone here? Sorry.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, does anyone use a Wacom Cintiq here?
Yes, that's why I'm drawing on.
Yes.
I wish I had money for one.
Wow, you guys are.
I've just noticed that my the touch sensitivity on this thing drops out sometimes. Has anyone had that kind of bug?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's common.
So you just get this blob.
How does it do? Is there a fix for that, or is it just something that
I don't know? I've got the most recent driver.
I unplug and then plug back in.
Sometimes the most recent driver is not the best driver, I've found.
Right.
especially depending on your system. If your system is not the newest, latest, and greatest with the greatest video card, usually there's more problems whenever I've upgraded.
Hmm.
So moving down to Zachary Bradley. He's definitely got a vibe going on here. It's a little more modest than we're used to, but still some sexy there. A little bit of cleavage.
Can we make a not safe for work version?
It's possible, or
It's
just
entirely up to you, my
it's
friend.
entirely up to you how you want to roll. This looks. I love the vibe here, but it is a little bit more mellow than some of our stuff. So yeah.
Fine.
No, I'm not. No, you do what you want, man.
Nope. You said it. Nope. You're complaining. I hear all the sadness in your voice that it's not more salute-y.
I think
It's not more food.
I think you're interpreting. Yeah. I didn't say any such thing. I just said I just said it's a little more modest than
And he's
how
still
we
saying-
usually roll.
And he's still talking.
We're going to. You may want to stop.
I think it's beautiful. You did a wonderful job.
She's standing outside Slicks.
Yeah, and that yes.
Slick's Pleasure Palace.
Yep, Slick's Pleasure Drome. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Let's go back to the chat. See what's going on there. Hello, chat. What we got going? Oh, Pablo Romero is back, saying to Eric Hawkins, well, doing comics takes more time than just a single illustration. There's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. I learned how to draw women in '99 and haven't stopped since. Eric Hawkins replies to Pablo Romero, Art, oh, I know. I'm just giving Zach a hard time, though he does seem to knock it out of the park really quick. And Pablo laughs at that. Needs more skin, Zach. That's what Pablo said.
I
Just put her in a mini skirt. That should do it.
Yeah.
Make her kind of a Tifa.
Yeah.
In all fairness, though, what Zach's doing is incredible.
Yeah, no, wouldn't.
Thank you.
And if he wants to do it that way, there's no problem.
I mean, if he hoed it up a little bit, it would be a lot better. But it's really good.
Oh, boy.
Like, there we go.
There we go.
We got 14 people back in the chat. 14. That's
This
awesome.
is really good, Zach.
Thank you.
Gosh dang.
No, Zach is like when I talk up Zach, I'm not joking. He is very capable of doing fine work. 11 people have 12 people have said they like the stream. Very nice. Very cool. Any of you who are new to this, please sub to the channel. Anybody who hears this subsequently, if you find this interesting and you want me to continue doing things, please sub to the channel. We're slowly moving up over time, and I'd love to hit 1,000.
1 million.
1 million viewers.
Yeah,
Dude, shoot for PewDiePie numbers, man.
She's 100 million. Yeah, he's gonna have 1 billion one day. He's gonna have all of China. Paul Romero says, "Yeah, it's really good, Zach. He's being nice, but this is Cheesecake Challenge. He's still hitting you up. Oh, look at that! There's the
comment. Backhanded comment.
Well, we love you. I'm glad you're here. I'm super glad you're here. You're always on the Drawn and Quartered, and I'm trying to steal some of them artists away, and I think I got one. Because there's a lot of good stuff going on over in Drawn and Quartered. It's the Ultimate Edition. I'm actually I want to call it the Ultimate Edition because I think you guys have way more fun. It's not this kind of. It seems like pretty dreary over on Mike's. I mean, I'm not trying to diss on Mike, but it does feel that way a lot when I've dipped in there, and I'm like, okay. And if you notice, I'm not one of the ones for you guys to talk shit to each other. I mean, I suppose that's fun, but it's not necessary. I think let your art speak for itself, and we'll see what comes May. You don't have to sit there and tear somebody else's art down, even though I guess that's fun for some people. It's just not my vibe.
Well, Pablo just called me a cheater earlier, so
Yeah, but Pablo's
I'll
not
take
on the
it.
panel. Pablo's in the
Yeah,
peanut
but I mean,
gallery
if the
right
shoe
now.
fits.
Yeah, Pablo's in the peanut gallery giving you shit, throwing his peanut shells at you. Oh, look, now we do have a mini skirt. That was quick. Mini skirt and thigh highs. I can feel that. I can dig it.
Single female lawyer.
Yeah, needs a little bit more.
What? No, I'm all about the mini skirt, man. I'm all
Just
about
gonna
the
draw
mini skirt.
all skin. No.
It just feels like just put her in a G-string and pasties. G-string, pasties, and an open trench coat. Be just fine.
She just got off work at Slicks.
She just got off work at Slicks. Yeah, she didn't even take anything off. She just
And she has a gun.
Yeah, she just she's has a gun in a pocket gun.
A long coat and a short. What's it called?
Yeah,
Short
long
skirt,
jacket,
long jacket.
short skirt,
Yeah.
long jacket.
oh, that reminds me. They said they want to revive the Chuck series. They
Oh,
use that
really?
song main theme.
Who was the guy who was on? He was the guy who played Shazam, right?
Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quinto.
Zachary,
No, not Zachary Quinto. He's the guy who played Spock. The
that's
gay
right.
cat
Zachary
who played
Levi.
Spock.
that's it. Yeah.
The other Zachary.
And the guy, for some reason, I always got Chuck and my name was Earl mixed up. And they're nothing alike. It's just like, and I always, that movie, Chuck, that show Chuck, where, he's got Jamie Presley's on that show, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, he's like a kind of he inherited a bunch of money, or like he won the lottery or something, and he's got all these relatives, and they're like, "My name is Earl," and I'm like, "Oh." Yeah, I like if some people want to think of like what I kind of originally envisioned Sugar as is it's either James the what's the name James King or Jamie Presley. Those two chicks kind of were what I kind of envisioned Sugar to be like.
The Poison Ivy movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of that Barsoom pick,
yes.
Fuck you. Jesus Christ, that was so good.
Which one?
Whiskey Paints Barsoom, where he has.
The one with Rags and
Blue Mamba.
Blue Mamba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, he did a good job, and that's why I employ him as my partner. He knows what he's doing. And it took him a while, and I didn't press him on it. He has other commissions going on. So when he got to it, he says, "What took me so long is I was trying to approximate Frazetta, but I kind of more like a mix between Frazetta and Vallejo." And I'm like, "Looks fine to me."
Yeah, I thought it was more Vallejo than Frazetta, but that's cool. They're both good.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the more kind of organic feel that Frazetta has, but it's turned out fine. Like one of the things I don't care for.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right.
How was that?
No, it's great. I love it. But when it comes to like Vallejo obviously uses photo reference. I mean, you can see his process in his books. And a lot of times, I think his sketches
live
were
models to pose for him.
Well, I often think his initial sketches for the live models to pose to, I actually like them better because they feel literally more organic. So it's just one of those things. But I mean, him and Julie Bell have kind of their thing. I don't know how old Boris is now. He's probably like 70 something. But what? Hello, Josh. Okay, got quiet. What happened?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Just like somebody said something, and I was waiting for them to respond, and it never came. It never ever came. All right, let's see.
I
what
think
we
Josh
have.
just shunned you.
Josh did shun me. He was like, I don't want to talk to that asshole American anymore. Okay, okay, where are we at? Pablo Romero says the last D&Q was fun. The whole amalgam thing. What did you guys do? What was the what was it?
Amalgam, just mixing up two characters.
Oh yeah. I've seen a bunch of the stuff that was posted on. Yeah, now that I remember it. Okay. Siege drew a gay Lone Star for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. It pissed off Mike pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, Mike. You could tell he was just not liking that at all.
Oh my
Mike
gosh.
got picked at that?
Oh my gosh.
Mike got picked at that?
He anything kind of gay oriented, he gets a little upset about it. It has to do with his religion, and I get it, but I mean, it's freaking art. I mean, he's probably studied very hardly, Michelangelo, and Michelangelo.
Well, the thing is it's not that he was gay. Because the character isn't gay. Because Siege drew her character Sykes, who just happens to also be okay with wearing pantyhose, and so she drew Lone Star in pantyhose.
and that got him
riled. Yeah, he did not like that.
Okay, all right. Well,
and we ended up calling him.
Well, why do you suppose that is?
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But we ended up calling him Bone Star. So it was a good night.
I mean, like I grew up Mormon, and Mormons aren't a big fan of the gay lifestyle. They're not really against gay people, but the lifestyle is kind of an anathema towards how Mormons view the universe. So
yeah, because don't you guys want to make a lot of kids though?
Yes, the family unit is core to the Mormon religion, the man and wife, and in fact, men and women in the church don't get married for time and all eternity. So I mean, it's very core to the religion, and so, but I have a cousin who he's in the closet and he's in the church, but he's gay. I mean, nobody in the family hates him. He never gets shunned from coming to, and even though he always has this roommate that's with him, they still treat him kindly. Now, to shun somebody because there's a gay version of it, I mean, come on. Just that's my opinion.
It's not like Mike outwardly just said I don't like this or anything, but you tell by his reaction he was just uncomfortable.
Well,
and squirming about it and stuff, and he didn't say anything good about it. That's that way.
Okay. I mean, you have to look at it from that. You have to divorce yourself from the thematics and just look at the art.
It was really good. It was really well done.
And if it's really well done, you got to say that's pretty damn good. I'm not two men kissing is something that I don't really. It doesn't do anything for me, and it, depending on how much how intense it is, I'm just like, ah. But I mean, if it's well done,
gotta get in that intensity.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the same thing is, I'm not a big fan of public displays of affection between heterosexual people. I used to get really annoyed at people who'd be making out in these pits that were in the old mall that I used to hang out in. They'd be just making out in the middle of the mall, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Get a room.
What are you talking about, dude? The Passion of Christ? Not good for you? Is that it?
Oh, the Passion of Christ? Depends.
Yeah, was that not a public display of affection?
The Passion of Christ was them killing.
Oh, I know, you're Mormon. Christ was a wizard from Mars, and what? I know, but what? I'm saying traditionally speaking, if you don't like public displays of affection, then you don't like my man JC. What's up with that?
What are you talking about? Public displays of affection?
This is really, really off topic.
All right, folks.
No, it's not. It's perfectly on topic.
with that, I think I'm gonna head out for the night. I can't be on here too long. I just want to pop in and sketch one out.
Nice, man. Very
For the
good.
thing. Yeah, sorry I wasn't too talkative. I usually have my mic muted, just in case. And yeah, like lately, I've just just been been more interested in coming on and experimenting with the topic than chatting my brain off, which is what I usually do. But everybody have a great night. As always, much love and infinite mojo to you, and super profundo on the early eve of your day.
Make sure you post that in the chat, please.
Will do.
Thank you, brother. All right, have a good night. We'll miss you. We'll miss you. Damn it. What are you talking about, Passion of Christ? Passion of Christ, that's the Passion of Christ is him on the
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, it's killing Christ.
Yeah, it's the
not...
ultimate public display of affection.
Oh my gosh, that is not. I disagree. I disavow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's. I think that's conflating certain things. He was a guy that hung out with whores, though. So there you go.
Well,
And a lot of people do think that Mary Magdalene was his wife. Of course, that is debatable.
There's a documentary came out a little while ago. It was the same guy that's been working with James Cameron on a lot of the religious documentaries, and they found a tomb in Jerusalem, and it was really unique. It had this particularly strange symbol that was like a letter A without the bridge, and then where the bridge would be was like a circle. And they found ossuaries that were Joseph, Mary, was it Marianne, and was two more. And one of the ossuaries was clearly marked Yeshua ben Yosef, Joshua, son of Joseph, which is Jesus's name. And the people who govern that sort of thing in Jerusalem shut them down so that they couldn't really pursue it. But it was a really, really interesting documentary because, there was so much theft going on in the 80s regarding ossuaries and stuff, and people selling them on the black market. And so when this particular one showed up that said that it was such and such son, or was a brother of Jesus. Don't quote me on that, but I'll post it in the chat later on. But it is an absolutely fascinating documentary because it proposes the idea that Christ was buried with his family, and they do the statistical analysis on it, trying to figure out what are the probabilities that there could have been multiple families with these particular names. And you see them whittling those numbers down as the documentary goes on. And it is genuinely a really, really interesting watch if you're into that sort of thing.
Interesting, yeah. Definitely something to think about. But I'm, as you say, I'm a Mormon, so I think weird things. I'm not the most devout Mormon in the world. But if
you say that, but are you wearing magic underpants right now?
Yes, I am actually.
See,
they're not magic though.
Oh.
They are considered sacred. That's the word.
Oh.
But the sacredness of it only is predicated upon your faith. So if my faith is lacking, then the sacredness of them and what they represent,
If you had to describe them in D&D terms, would they be +1 underpants, +2 underpants, or +3 legendary underpants.
Well, since it's predicated upon your faith, if you have the faith of as a grain of a mustard seed that you can move mountains, then they would probably be a +10. But if you don't have the faith, they're just underpants.
Okay, so you want to homebrew some of this. I understand that. That's cool. But I'm talking, like by the rules.
By the rules? They're just underpants.
5th edition, obviously. +10 is a little extravagant, but
they're just
we're gonna let it
underpants.
slide.
They're just underpants.
Oh. Well, it's not nearly as exciting as I'd hoped.
Okay, just for you, +3. You can walk through a burning fire and you'll be fine.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
I'm joking, of course. But I do have a story about that. So I'm serving my mission, right? And you go to different areas wherever you're stationed. And I had this companion. His name was Elder Vernon. Elder Vernon was this square little guy. Like, at the time, I was probably 340 pounds. I got fat. And but he was just this little stick of a guy, and he really wasn't very mature. And we had this apartment. We got a new apartment, and it didn't really have any good parking. So we'd parked like a block away. And so every time we walked down to the apartment, we'd have to use the keys and get up, and we lived on the 2nd floor. And he wanted to feel like he had some authority in what we call a companionship. And so he wanted one of the keys, because there was 2 keys. There was one for the front door and one for our apartment. So I give him one for the front door, so he just feels like he has some sort of say in how things are going in the companionship, because I'm the senior companion. Well, he keeps locking us out because he keeps forgetting the friggin' key. And we have this, like, it's a portico, and then there's like a deck that the top of the portico makes. So you can kind of walk out on top of that portico. So I'd have to put him up, like lift him up, because he was only like $1.20. And I just pick him up like he was like a cheerleader, and put him up and throw him up there. And he'd grab a hold of him. It was about 12 feet up, and he'd have to grab one of the rungs and then pull himself over the balustrade. Well, after the 3rd time this happened, that he left the damn key there, and he's just, I have a bunch of stories about this kid. The rung on the balustrade let go, and he fell about 12 feet down into a planter. Now, there was this little bush down in the planter, and he fell right on that bush, and his head stopped right above this stone wall of the planter, and it should have hit the back of his head, and it didn't touch him, and he fell right on that little bush, and the bush, I don't know how, held him up. Now, I don't know if that was God or whatever, but if I had fallen off of that thing, that would have freaking killed me. I would have went right through that bush. Of course, I'm twice, again, his size with a little bit more. But I can't explain it. I don't know what happened. But I know that he should have banged his head, from 12 feet. And he didn't. Don't know. Can't figure it out. Physics don't seem to apply in that scenario. 120 pounds should go right through a bush. There you go. There's my story.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's everyday miracle or whatever. I mean, but like, I can't explain it. I was looking at the situation when I ran down. Like, they had to go down the stairs, and he's just sitting on top of this bush, and it literally is a spinny little fucking bush. And his head did not. I was worried that his head had hit that outside retaining wall that was a good 6 inch above the top, like the soil of the planter, and nothing happened.
When he got off of the bush,
was
it on fire?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't on fire. He didn't even have a scratch on his back from the bush. And he just had like a white button-down shirt and a pair of slacks.
But it wasn't a burning bush.
Nope, it wasn't a burning bush. It was one of those little green bushes with like red little berries. And the bush wasn't even that flattened.
Oh yeah, those are called muscle bushes. They're known for being
shut your
super
mouth.
super strong.
Shut your
No,
mouth.
for real though.
Jimmy,
Mhm.
hello.
What?
They're
Hello.
super strong.
My computer took a giant turd.
Took a giant turd.
They're the weightlifters
cleaning
of the
up,
bush world.
Is that you've been cleaning up for a while now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It looks good what you're doing though.
Well, my computer crashed, and I thought I lost all this stuff.
Well, it
But
still looks
luckily
pretty
not.
damn good. Yeah, I'm saying. I'm liking it. So let's go back to the chat. I've talked too much about religious things. I'm not trying to convert anybody to Mormondom. I spent 2 years and a little bit doing that. And if you want to know about Mormonism, it's pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, just call me. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Try to do your own research.
Or talk to me.
All right. Pablo Romero says, I don't know if it was really gay. I just say it's gay because it looked gay. I think he was talking about that thing on D&Q. And then it says, it looks cool. Whim drawing. Probably was his wife. Okay. And then Pablo also says, so the underpants is like the cross in Fright Night? Okay. You need to have faith to make it work. Yes, it's kind of like that. I mean, it's the best way to explain it. And again, like, do I know if it works? I don't know. I mean, every religion has its weirdness in it. So, yeah, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, except for good old fashioned American Christianity.
That's right. Christians they're the bestest evers.
Yes, we are.
That top's almost coming off there, buddy.
Me?
Yeah, no, not you. Phil's bralette. His little demi bra he's got on. His little shelf bra.
Oh yeah.
It's coming off. It's gonna come off. Eventually.
Let's hope so.
All right, coming down the panel. Let's see. That looks pretty nice there, armor on. She's got some Chun-Li legs going on, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some people do Chun-Li's with legs that are like they're damn tree trunks, and it just doesn't do anything for me. It's like, have some parity. It's like, good Lord. I mean, make them nice and muscular, but not like so muscular that, she flexes her legs and knocks people over just by the flex.
Have you seen that girl? I think her name is Bakhar Nabiva.
I have not seen Bakhar Nabiva.
She's a Russian girl. She likes to wear black contacts that cover her whole eyes.
Okay.
But she's like a weightlifter chick.
Right.
And she has the most disturbingly impressive legs in the history of ever.
Well, then there you go. Does she have buttocks to match?
Yeah.
Does she have an upper body to match, or is she just lower half?
She's very kind of all natural. So with the amount of like weightlifting stuff that she does, she's not really she's not much up top, which what have you. When you just see her physique, it's like, sweet Jesus. Like, she's the most intimidating woman I've ever seen.
Who's this lady?
Her name is Bakhar, Bakar, and then Nabiva, Nabiva, maybe.
Maybe.
If you just get Bakhar, Bakar, I think, like in Google, it'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, she's got some pretty big legs. I'm looking at her right now.
Yeah, she's a powerful character.
Yep. But she's got a Christmas tree with her lats too. Inverted Christmas tree is what they call it. Yeah, she's pretty good. She's a pretty gal.
Yeah.
Pretty face.
Built like a brick shit house.
Not a fan of the half sleeves, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Well, you know.
She's curved. And she doesn't have fake boobs either. That's nice.
Yeah. What's crazy is that when you hear her talk, she has the most manly voice.
She's like, "How you
ever.
doing? I'm a Russian girl."
Yeah, she has that like deep Russian thing going on.
I'm supposedly all natural, but I have lots of testosterone naturally.
Yeah, she's like, I would break you.
I will break you. I cold cream my upper lip constantly. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the chat. See, we got 13 people still here. And Pablo says, you can use the underpants against vampires. No, you just use the priesthood. And, vampires.
Yeah, Pablo, Jesus.
The Melchizedek priesthood, as they say. When EVS was talking about, he was a priest in the.
I don't want to keep cutting you off.
What?
But I rewatched The Exorcist 3 the other day.
Why did you watch
I'm
3?
pretty sure that it's the greatest movie ever.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like the Exorcist is, for me, probably one of the greatest movies ever. But The Exorcist 3 is so good. So good. Like, there's no reason for it to be that good. But
The Exorcist 2 sucked.
Yeah, The Exorcist 2 was ridiculous. Like, you can't use words like Pazuzu in a movie and expect people not to giggle, because, like, Pazuzu is like a very threatening demon. But if you just hear the name Pazuzu, you think, well, that sounds like a shitty car name.
Sounds like an old Eastern Bloc car.
Yeah, it's not impressive. And if you're not familiar with the mythology, it's really easy to just go, well, that sounds retarded. And so, that Exorcist 2 was a failure. But Exorcist 3, god damn, it's so good.
So out of the trilogy, unlike the Godfather, which the third one was the lackluster one, the Return, the third one is the better one, is what you're saying. Right?
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, well, I've seen the first one, and I've never seen the third one. But I might have to take a look at it. I'm not a big fan of horror that much. It's just like horror is like, and like the stuff that happens in reality is what horrifies me. So
I think I'm finished.
It's good, man. I like it.
Oh, look at you, Mr. I'm always done first. I bet the ladies love you.
Armoron, I think, beat him, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of finished about 20 minutes ago.
You friggin' Aussies, man. Friggin' Aussies.
Well, Amaran beat me. I'm right behind Amaran, and then it's Josh. So.
Oh, you finished yours?
Yeah, second place.
All right, so Josh is third when it comes to speed of doing it. We're hitting about 21 minutes right now. I said I'd go 26 minutes. I said I'd give you till 15 after, but yeah. So you got a little bit of time left to finish this up. Well, let's look at Marty's. Oh, look at that. Still not sure if I'm feeling the Loire vibe, but that's fine. Oh, Josh, this is very noir. It is. That's very cool. What are you doing there? What is that?
Me?
Yeah, what is that thing? Oh, it's a light fixture. All right.
So, let's see what it looks like.
All right, let's go on the panel. each one.
Nah.
We're missing Bad Ankle Bill right now. What are you doing there, Eric?
What's that?
You're out on a filter effect. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to
A little bit of gradient.
play with the light.
Nice. Noise. Got our Chun-Li. Oh, it's looking good. I'm liking that. Illustrator Monk. That is very noir too.
Watu.
Noir too. Yeah. Got Phil. Phil's making very nice lingerie. I'm liking the lingerie.
I just like pulp stuff. Pulp is one of my favorites.
Yeah, when pulp, I mean, it covers a lot of ground. So.
Oh yeah, but I like all that kind of retro sci-fi, detectives.
Western.
The Shadow is so cool.
Yeah, the Shadow's awesome.
Like the Shadow is so awesome.
This most recent one wasn't great.
A boatload of the old radio plays on MP3.
Oh, yeah.
The one that Orson Welles was the voice of Lamont Cranston and the Shadow, and they're so much fun to listen to.
And one of my favorites is always X-1 for the sci-fi stuff.
Didn't the Shadow started with that radio teleplay, right?
I believe so.
And then it went into the pulps, and then it went to comics, sort of movies. But I mean, yeah. I wish somebody would take the time to do like on HBO or like really do the Shadow as a series, because I think it would lend itself really nicely to a series.
I think it'd be really cool. I think the problem with the Shadow, at least at this point, is that if you were faithful to the premise, then it wouldn't really go over very well with the woke crowd, which would be unfortunate. But
well, I'm hoping that the woke crowd gets burned out, like, you know.
No, it's starting to slow down.
The dumpster fire that it is. But I mean, just yeah. Let's go to the chat real quick. Some people have showed up. We got Bullet, and we also have Barb Rogers, Gun Girl. Nice. That'll fit right in. Flit Amaranth says all the digital artists on the panel use Cintiq, and I'm using a Graphire 3.
I haven't found them.
No,
I don't use Cintiq.
I use
What did you find?
It's not bamboo. It's a regular Wacom tablet, medium size. I wish I had money for a ThinQ. Shoot.
I use a Huey N.
Bullet says to Flit, get both owned and wrecked. And then Bullet, I guess Bullet, do you want him to have a wrench, or do you saying I am a wrench? I don't know what he's saying there. Paulo Romero goes, Extras 3 is good. And Barb Rogers gives 3 hearts. Pazuzu has pizzazz. Bullet says Eagle is missing all this shadow talk. Now we're done with the chat. Fantastic. Who's talking? Who we got talking?
Sorry. It's my housemate.
Oh yeah. Josh one day will have a place of his own. Someday. All right.
But not today.
Armor On is starting on something new. Very nice. Looking kind of anime a little bit. Oh, not quite. Actually has a nose. That's not anime.
Yeah, and the mouth is attached to the front of the face too.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm just starting a new one.
You know, I know why they do that, because it makes it fast and easy, but I do like the definition of a female face, as opposed to this stylization so much that it looks, if you don't know what you're looking at, it looks kind of alien. I think manga looks kind of alien.
It does, actually. It does when you first see it.
Yeah, because they make these big freaking eyes. The nose is barely there, if at all. and he like flattened from the nose down to the chin. It just looks.
Well, yeah, they're making fun of white people.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then then they don't mind having Japanese girls with blonde hair, which, I, if anything is cultural appropriation, that would be it. But I don't really care. Unlike some other people, but it does seem very funny that they have like redheaded, fully redheaded, but then they have purple and green and pink and whatever else. So whatever. I'm looking at Eric's. He it's very nice. It's very very nice. She's ready to do the rat-a-tat-tat on somebody. Oh look. We got some darkness. So yeah, Chun-Li doing ballet in a nightclub. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
In Street Fighter, they call ballet kata.
Moving down the line, Illustrator Monk's getting his gradients down. Things are coming along. Yeah. We're gonna go down to Phil. Phil's hurrying with his marker to fill in the darkness. The darkness. The noir.
Yeah, I'm putting Jackie Estacado in the background here.
The darkness.
The darkness. That would be the stream with
Witchblade.
Witchblade. There's another good theme. Witchblade, but
You're welcome.
We'd have to do Witchblade on other people. What I would do is not Witchblade on Sarah Pizzini, but Witchblade on other characters.
That's a good idea.
I would like to do
last week.
the Witchblade on Carmen Electra, circa 1993.
Carmen Electra was the shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like that TV series? Who was it? It wasn't Carmen Electra. It was someone else.
Pam Anderson.
What the barbed wire? What the one?
Yeah, there's a Witchblade TV series.
They didn't do it very well because the Witchblade looked like shit.
Yeah.
They found a woman to play the Witchblade character that like didn't really live up to Michael Turner's art.
Not even close.
Oh no!
Was it Michael Turner that did that?
Oh yeah. No, I mean it was so wasn't it? No, was it Turner? It was somebody else
or something like that. I forgot her name.
So was it Silvestri? No.
Yeah.
Well,
Silvestri character when they made
Silvestri designed her.
Yeah.
But the TV show, the live action TV show they did for her, just like what the hell.
But I do remember watching the show going, this is boring.
Did you watch the anime?
No. Is the anime okay?
The anime is pretty good, actually.
I have to go look that
The
up.
anime is definitely
The anime is
for,
way different from the.
Yeah.
Jesse Butler, that's her name.
The anime is definitely for adults. The first thing in the intro is boobs.
Well,
I'll have to look that up.
The anime is doing it right then, because that's
Isn't that what anime is though?
not always.
It's just cartoon pornography, right?
Now, you're thinking,
I've seen
you're thinking hentai.
and
Hentai is that. Anime is all.
no. There was a show, like the first anime that I ever watched. It was like Demon City something or other, and there was like a little like pervert midget man who had like a divot in his head.
You have to be more
Wicked City.
You have to be more.
Yeah, there was Wicked City, and then there was another one that was just called Demon City.
Yeah. There's Wicked City and Demon City. Yeah.
And because there was a girl who turned into a weird spider vagina monster, and I think I saw that when I was 13.
Yeah, that was pretty traumatic as a kid. I saw that too.
And
Because
and I've never trusted Asian people ever since.
That was called. What was it called? It was like Demon Lord or Overlord.
Barb
Legend
Rogers.
of the Overfiend.
Barb Rogers said, "I would
Legend
love."
of the Overfiend.
Barb Rogers
God
says,
damn.
"I would love to leave a super chat, but only share them like for now." Yeah, we can get to 1,000, and then they can allow me to do that. But I have a feeling that I'm gonna get utterly demonetized because I swear and whatnot, and I don't care what we talk about all that much. So anyway, what you guys thought? I'm sorry, I cut in on you. You're talking about this stuff.
You're talking about
Reminiscing about
cartoon
Legend of the
pornography.
No,
Yeah,
that's
the original
hentai.
tentacle hentai.
That's hentai, not anime.
Hentai.
Anime's different.
Because anime
Anime, you can have a
has
show
all.
about, like, street sweeping contests and shit. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? And all of a sudden you're kind of interested.
That's a Ninja Scroll.
Zach, I just want to let you know that you are the devil.
Oh God. Sorry.
That
Wow.
picture is fucking gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just give up, everyone.
Very good.
Just want it.
Very good.
Zach has skills. We
Abs-
are. This is true. You give
I
him
only have some
time.
skills.
You give him time, and it turns out even more fun. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen him on Drawn and Quartered, y'all missing out. There's other good artists there. Like I said, I'm trying to.
So how many drawn and quarters are there?
There's two. There's the fan edition or the ultimate edition, which I prefer that name, and then there's the original Drawn and Quartered Pro, which
And that's the one that's run by religious zealots.
Sorta. And like, it got interesting, and now, like, I don't know what to say about it anymore. It just seems like a wet blanket's been thrown over it, kind of. I don't know.
Well, if you had to use, say, 2 letters that would indicate, say, the name of someone who you feel would be responsible for that wet blanket, what would those 2 letters be? And don't say JC.
No, I don't know. I think there's a whole bunch of factors that have gone into
a lot of what ifs, a lot of what have yous.
Well,
I hear
there's
you.
a bunch of factors that have gone into the whole, like, community, quote unquote, network that have, and it just recently just been an absolute disaster. And just
has anyone been keeping up with this war campaign thing that's got everybody all riled up lately?
You're talking about the John Malin?
Yeah, like I only like I don't really do a whole lot of the tweeting, and so I'm not really up on a whole lot of it. But like I heard that there was some kind of a kerfuffle.
Yeah, all it is
between John Malin and Rowe.
Yeah, it's all it is. All it is John Malin doesn't want to let people, or how you used to do the CG presents. Well, someone I guess went on Rowe and then threw Malin under the bus, and now Malin's pissed off.
So here's the thing, from what I understand. I don't know. Am I probably getting screwed up? But apparently, War Campaign went after Anna, the Star Wars girl, because she did that cover for Dynamite of Vampirella, which honestly, from my perspective, it's a little amateur. But whatever. She worked the angles and got that deal. Okay, whatever. But they just went after her hard, and and then that brought in Rob Casey, who did that. He's like a War Campaign darling. He's U.S. Cyborg or something like that. And then he liked and retweeted somebody talking against Malin, and Malin took offense at that. Then they got on Liam Gray's stream, and they just went at each other tooth and nail. First Malin and Rob Casey, then Malin and Rowe, and then Ethan showed up and tried to
Monroe
mitigate
is
it.
the one with the silly beard.
Yeah, he's the leader of War Campaign. He's the guy who
He's the
has
one who always like talks like a professional wrestler.
sorta, and War Campaign says they're a parody site, but a lot of people have some things to say about War Campaign, about their comportment and their behavior online and how they treat people. And Malin called him out on it, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. And then um, apparently Cecil got into bagging on them, and now War Campaign has basically written off both Malin and Cecil from their good graces, and I'm just watching this from
Who
afar,
are these
going,
people?
"What the hell?" So I mean, all I want to do is make friends with people, and if you don't want to make friends, if you want to go after people, you can do what you like, but it's certainly not a professional way of dealing with stuff, no matter who you are.
Absolutely.
So, I think you should, if you have things to say them politely as a critique, and move on. Like I just said about Anna. I'm not going to tear on her for making a deal with Dynamite. She made a deal with Dynamite. But am I going to go say that that's the greatest art I've ever seen? No.
I think I saw it. It looks something. It's just like a single pole shot of
Yeah,
Vampira.
it's very simplistic, in my opinion.
It sounds.
It's unusual for her too, because she does
for-
really detailed portraits and shit.
Yeah, from what I see, it looks a lot like she was trying to do a Bruce Tim piece.
And I guess
It
like
just kind of fell so flat, and I was like, okay, well, she tried.
it looks flat, and it looks like the anatomy isn't addressed properly, in my opinion. But I mean, and I've seen some of her other work, and it seems like, especially when she does portraiture, she's actually a little better. But like I said, I'm not going to go and like tweet at her and say, "Oh, this is how dare you make some money." She did. Okay, fine, whatever. But apparently, this is bad sauce with a bunch of people, and I tend to think, oh, talent will rule out eventually, and people can get in places that maybe they shouldn't be. There's certain writers at Marvel I have question about, and that's from my perspective. But then again, who am I? I'm just some schmuck.
You're our schmuck.
I am a schmuck.
You're our favorite schmuck.
But like,
Yeah.
I think that like anybody who is trying to make art, it should be commended for it. When it comes to something like I don't agree with like War Campaign, but I have to say that Vestige looks like a pretty book. It does. I mean, the art that I've seen looks okay. I have nothing. I don't know about the writing because I haven't seen the book. Guys like Liam Gray, he has an interesting way of presenting himself. Not necessarily how I would do it, but the book he's putting together is actually very nice. And now again, like the art, the person he's employed to render his story is doing a pretty damn good job. I can't fault that. And the more that art is presented and done well, the better it is for the industry, especially an industry right now, which is
lacking.
Yes, it's lacking. It's barely holding on. We'll see what happens after things calm down and what shakes out. I don't know. I think that DC getting distributors beyond Diamond is an absolute necessity. It should have happened years ago.
A lot of retailers are pissed.
Yeah. But I personally think that it needed to happen. I just don't know if it needed to happen like it happened now. I think there should have been some organic movement on that long ago, and it didn't happen. So, what are you gonna do?
Speaking of, did that Space Cowboy book get fully funded?
Yes, it did. He's
That
at
was
nice.
cool.
He's at 11,000 on the last day. we were kind of pushing, and I was pushing, and a lot of other people, because I really do love Jack Irons. He hit about 7,000 on the second to last day, the penultimate day, and I thought, well, maybe this is possible. If you can hit 7 something, maybe you can get 2,000 in the last day. Well, by the time they closed, he was at 10,005 something, and now he's at 11,000 something, because he's got now the in demand, but he did, with about 7 hours to go, he hit 10,000, which it went up, and really happy
Nice.
about it, because anybody knows Cody Fernandez, he's a sweetheart, and he's actually got a really cool story going with Jack Irons and a lot of other stuff that he can develop, like with a lot of other characters and other titles, I would think. And so, like, I'm really happy about it, and I would hope that would continue for him. Just like I said earlier with Zach, personally think Zach's Golma should have more money than it has right now, considering the gorgeousness of his book. That I can just see it forming as he keeps showing artwork that he does. So, and I don't blow smoke up people's ass. I really like Zach's book. So.
Aww.
Another one I like is Colton Crux by Nashitobi. Very cool stylistic look, very noir. If you guys want to go look that up, Colton Crux, and it's currently being funded there. They do have a very lofty goal of 15,000. I'm not sure if I would have set it that high, but I'm going to try to help them, and they have less than. I hope that they have another month they can like bump it up, because that's a real large amount to try to get on an unknown property. So there you go. There's my talk about independent comic books currently. There's a lot of good books out there right now, though. I keep seeing stuff that I like. I can't right now. I'm trying to kind of conserve my money so that when I do go into print, I don't have to dip into my savings.
So how does this look?
Let's take a look at it. I want to zoom it in just a little bit.
There we go.
We got about 2 minutes left. Who's not quite there? Anybody? Anybody not quite there?
I'm basically done.
Okay, you're done. Phil, how much more do you need to do? Anybody? Hello?
Phil?
Phil?
Almost. I'm
Almost?
just putting stripes on her.
Okay. All right. We got about 2 minutes left. So I think Phil probably will be done here in a second. So I'll give him a little bit. And
There we go. And it's official.
Yep. Let's look at the chat, see what they got to say. All right, we got 15 people in here. Hopefully everybody plus the panel will go and vote when we finally get the poll up. We haven't just yet. We got 1 minute. Let's do a countdown. You almost done, Phil?
Yep, almost.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Well, you got 30 seconds, so. All right, we're coming down to it. Coming down the wire. Eric Hawkins just back Golma. Thank you, Eric. Yep. So we got a sale for Mr. Bradley, and
Cool.
you're not gonna be disappointed. That's some beautiful work there, and he'll make a beautiful book. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Flit, can you do me a favor and put up that poll in the chat? It'd be fantastic. Bullet says, kind of feel bad for Nasser and Jason's. Their book looks good and isn't seeing much funding. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Flit, if you want to put up Nasser's and Jason's thing in the chat, that'd be fine. But you're already doing You're already doing that. Sorry. You're already doing the. Oh, there we go. The poll, straw poll. It's there. So everybody go and do the straw poll. There, I was stuttering and stammering there, not making any sense at all. Yeah, must be getting Alzheimer's. So everybody go check that out. People on the panel, please do so. We're going to give ourselves 5 minutes or so to run that poll. And yeah, fantastic. Let's see what we got here. Let's go down the panel so everybody can do it. Bad Ankle Bill is not here anymore. He had a pretty cool thing. I wish we could show it, but there's Armorons. There's Eric Hodson's. That's the Dreaded Dinosaur.
Ended up looking like Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, actually. Yeah, that would have been quite the children's show. Yeah. And then there's Chun-Li doing a little ballet or kata somewhere on a stage, it looks like. And,
the thing I'm missing is having a bunch of guys being fun about.
Yeah,
Would have probably made the scene better.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's Chun-Li. It's Humble Marty. For some reason, I'm getting. There we go. There's the resolution kicked in for Illustrator Monk. There's Illustrator Monk's piece. That's got some definitely got noir vibe there. Gonna go over to Phil. Can you pull that out a little bit, Phil, so I can see the full picture? It's definitely got a noir vibe. Yep. Everybody take a look at that. Excellent. Moving down to Josh Spencer. He says, vote for Spencer. Be right back. And that's his piece right there. That is very, very noir. Moving on to Daniel Tech Vega, who did not do any elves tonight. Did a very almost Jessica Rabbit vibe. But yeah, that's noir too. It's looking good. I like it. See, you can do non-elven shit. It's amazing. I love it. And last but certainly not least, this is Zachary Bradley, a young lady with a gun coming out of Slicks. I suppose that would be my my fictitious establishment somewhere in Lost Peaks or somewhere. But yeah, that looks very good. That's very nice, very noir. Looks kind of Londonish with that lamppost there. Yeah, very good. That's the thing. I don't have any Let me see if I can find Bad Echo Bill. Give me a minute. Maybe he put it in the chat. We shall see. We shall see. Let's see if I can share. One moment. We'll bring it up.
Oh, found it. It's on the Twitter.
Yeah, I'm gonna show. I'm gonna share. Give me 1 second. Un momento, por favor, gracias. All right, we're sharing. Yes, we're sharing. Share. And back to this. That's Bad Ankle Bill right there. So you guys can see it. All right, everybody. That's the entire panel. All 9 of our wonderful artists that have showed up and kicked ass doing noir tonight. Let's go back to the panel. One moment. Everybody go and make sure that you vote. All right. Has everybody voted on the panel? Everybody in the chat voted.
I'm trying to figure out which one, who is Illustrator Monk.
Illustrator Monk? Illustrator Monk is right here. You can see him. See that?
No, I don't see it on yours or the YouTube.
He's got one where with the bum showing.
He's the one with the bum, the gun above the bum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's Illustrator Monk. And Monk tends to draw a bum shot if he didn't win the week before. Yeah, he's got that thing going on, that trope. So yeah, going back to the chat. Everybody's saying vote for me. Zach thanks Eric Hawkins for the purchase. Yeah, that's I think we did. So we're sitting right now at 21 after. I think that's good enough. So let's do the call. 1 second here. We got 15 votes. Hallelujah. Let me refresh just a little bit. All right. We're calling it right now. You guys better get your votes in if I'm calling it right now. 15 votes. That's pretty good. All right. With 1 vote apiece. 1 vote apiece. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have 1 vote apiece.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that would be Daniel Tech Corner, Daniel Tech Corner Vega, Illustrator Monk, Humble Marty, Dreaded Dinosaur, Eric Hodson, and Bad Ankle Bill. Bad Ankle Bill, William Blankenship, and Armoron, which were all excellent pieces. They all get 4th place just off the podium. Just off the podium. That's my problem. Surrounding the podium, but still off the podium.
Oh Lord.
I'm used to it.
I won once.
Yeah,
So.
well, you did that was a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Then in with the bronze with 2 votes, 2 fabulous votes for 13% is Phil Connect. He takes home the bronze. And for his first time on the show with 3 votes, 20% of the vote, Zachary Bradley. Fantastic. And with 4 votes, 27% of the vote, our own Aussie from Down Under. He takes it home, Josh Spencer. Josh Spencer.
Oi, oi, oi. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Josh Spencer. So Josh Spencer will have definite input on what we do next week as a theme, but we can round table it in the chat.
Sure.
Let's go look at the chat one more time and see what they're saying. No more people in there. Still, well, we got 17 people in there. Nice. All right, 17 people. And if you haven't liked it, please like, and that would be great. And subscribe if you want. Let's go down the panel really quick. For Bad Ankle Bill, I'm glad you showed up when you did. Excuse me. Hopefully you can be back next week. Let's go with the Armoron. Armoron, what are you working on right now? That's beautiful. Oh, I love that one. I don't know why I didn't get more votes because I'm loving that. It's very, very beautiful.
Yeah, just drawing random stuff, doing commissions, and just content from my Patreon.
Excellent.
Yeah, Patreon/Armoron.
If you want to get a good commission and done very quickly and very nicely, go check out Armoron. Eric, you want to shill your book and stuff and everything, your webcomic?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right,
here's the webcomic.
Okay, there we go. Dreaded Dinosaur Man.
Yep, you can go over to Webtoon and subscribe.
Oh, there we go.
I'm trying to rescue a slave girl.
Bit. Nice. I dig it. She's got blue hair. She a SJW or whatever?
What's that?
Is your blue-haired lady a SJW?
No, not at all.
Throwing around? Just trying to wonder. I don't know. That's very nice. Love it. And then do you have you were working on that Roddy Piper book, right?
Yep. Finishing it up. I got a few pages left to do. The colors have been coming back from our colorist, and they are amazing. And you know what? I could probably.
Very good. It's very fun one you did tonight. Very Carmen Sandiego. When you pointed that out, I was like, oh my goodness, it is.
Yeah, she totally turned into
Yeah.
Carmen Sandiego. Which is...
Gun Mall Carmen Sandiego. All right, going over to Humble Marty. Show us your piece, Marty. That's very nice. Anything you want to show?
Oh, well, I've got The Adventures of Cora Corin on Amazon. It's $5.
No, Adventures of Cora Cora on Amazon. We're going to have to put that in the chat one of these times. Let people take a peruse of it. Very good. Thank you for being here in our dose of estrogen on the panel. It's very good to have that. Going to Illustrator Monk. Illustrator Monk, you have anything you want to throw out there and tell people about that Saving the World? And I guess you had a cover.
Yeah, Saving the World launching May 1st.
So look forward to that
on Indiegogo.
And his cover is really good. And you also did some work for Professor Geek with his book as well. Is that being fulfilled?
I don't know if that's still up, but it should be being fulfilled this month.
I'm definitely looking forward to my copy. I don't know. So look for that. See if it's out there and in demand. Check that out. And moving down the panel, got Phil Connect. Phil Connect, do you want to tell people about what you're doing? You do have books that you have written. People might want to look into.
Yeah, I've written a couple of books. Autumnville Ouroboros, Autumnville Beware the Scarecrow, Infinity Girl, all available on Amazon. I'm in full-on production of my comic book, Metachain 242, and I am trying to clear up some lag issues between OBS and my computer so that I can actually get clear recordings to get moving on this podcast. Other than that, I am drinking a lot of God Emperor Trump's sponsored Amaretto Stone Sours and shots of Sambuca. And I'm trying to get a solid 9 hours of sleep every day.
That's good, man.
It's important.
So you still want me to have me on that show?
Hell yeah, dude. As soon as I can get the audio stuff cleared up, because the thing was that when we recorded, what ended up happening was that I got really good audio of you, but my audio was complete shit for some reason.
Well, I tell you, working out the bugs of one of these shows is always an adventure.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to get some friends of mine to come in and kind of help me diagnose the problem, figure out where I need to spend some money to get some upgrades. And once we've got all that stuff squared away, then I'm going to go full bore back into it.
Cool, man. I look forward to it. So everybody look out for that. And make sure you give us a link and stuff, and then we'll get it out for you.
Yeah,
Going
absolutely.
down to Spencer. Josh Spencer, can you talk, or did you have people talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contact me for commissions, and if you got like a comic book project you want to talk about, available. So hit me up on at Spencer Tunes on the social medias, or that's the best way, I think. Yeah, Twitter and Instagram.
That's very cool. I really did love your piece tonight. It's
thank you.
It's worthy of the win. I'm gonna say
thank you.
It is. And you did great. This is as noir as it gets right here. I'm telling you. So yeah, beautiful piece. Let's go down to Daniel Tekve. I'm proud of you tonight, man. You brought it. You came and you did the theme as requested, and no fucking elf ears.
Oh, George.
You did a great job. Anything you want to shill?
I'm still taking commissions, safe for work and not safe for work. You can DM me at the Tech Corner on Twitter or Instagram, D Vega on DeviantArt, my YouTube channel, the Tech Corner, and I will have more shortly to announce for a comic my client is coming back to be doing. So look out for that.
As you can see, Daniel is not just an elven maven. He can do stuff on the fly, and he'd never done grayscale before, and I think this turned out quite well. So, obviously has skills that he can employ for you if you need to give him, if you want a commission. Going down finally to the guy I've been pimping all night for his book Golma. He did bring it tonight. This is a really nice. There it is, Golma. I was giving him a good time about his piece that did not win, but it did come in second for good reason. This is very noir, and I like the little throw to me. Thank you very much. You did an awesome job. He made it a little more sexy. Gave her a little mini skirt with some garters and thigh highs, and yeah, it turned out. I like it very much. Show Golma one more time, please. Let's just scroll down that and let people take a look at it.
Yep. It's a graphic novel. 100% painted in my style. And I do have some cheesecake prints. So.
As you should.
Yes, as I should. And there's,
Okay. As people have seen this, keep rolling, man. If you're not impressed, it may not be your thing for like fantasy adventure, but if you're not impressed by the art, there's just something wrong with you. And if you want to get a good book, I think that this is something you should go out and invest in. Look at that. There's a little bit of cheesecake going on there.
There you go. There's some cheesecake.
And this whole book is going to be like this. And if I know, and I think I do, Zachary Bradley, every one of these pieces is going to be polished within an inch of their lives, inch of their existence. They're going to be beautiful, and you're going to be enjoying the story. You can already see like a narrative in each one of these pieces. So go invest in this. Put your money down. Help this brother out to make a wonderful book come to life and be put on the page and put in your hands. So yeah, let's make that not $2,115. Let's make that as high as it can go. All right. Of course, that's me shilling hard for my friend Zachary Bradley. But anybody who comes on here and who has a book, I will do just the same. Just like Eric Hodson, you need to go out and get his book, his wrestling book with Roddy Piper, one of my favorite wrestlers. And I'm not that big a wrestling fan. I would definitely buy that book and go check out his Dreaded Dinosaur Man. It looks like a lot of fun. Go do that definitely. And anybody who comes on here with a book, make sure that you tell me, and I will shill the shit out of that. All right. All right. I think we've come to the end now. There's very little going on in the chat now. Sci-Fi Snob says that looks great. How is the writing? How is the writing, Zach?
I've heard good things from the people who have read it so far. So good.
Maybe you should let me see it, and I will be able to give you some feedback as well. There we are. I think we're going to end it right there. I'm so glad that everybody came out. This was one of my favorite themes, actually. I mean, I've had a lot of things, but this is one I didn't even think of, and I don't know why. I really don't, because as you can tell, I kind of love noir, and this came out fantastic. You guys did an excellent job. As usual, I kind of give you high praise. I kind of butter you up a little bit. But no, this panel was kicking ass tonight. And we had a full house, which is beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Currently, I don't know where the other one went that was on the panel. But I'm glad everybody turned out. We had 9 people here at one point. Everybody, thanks for coming. And if you want to come back, you're always welcome. If we can, first come, first serve up till 9 people. But yeah, everybody out there in this crazy world right now with the whole woo thing going on, please take care of yourself. Please practice precautions, but don't be nutty and all that business. But be smart, stay safe, stay healthy, and come back and hang out with us again. I hope everything turns out well in your life and you have prosperity for those who are listening now and subsequently, and everybody on the panel. Y'all take care. This is going to take me a minute to stop the broadcast as I have to go to different places. I'm ending the stream. Everybody take care. Y'all want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
Have a good one.
Still a bye-bye.